What is up, scandalous strangers? I don't know. We're running out of good S words. As always, I am Kurt. I am joined by my co-host, the lovely Krista. And we have a very special guest co-host in the studio today. And that is Krista's husband, Jim.
Vincent Vega.
He's actually, he exists. He's real.
He's real. We're not in Idaho.
Kurt gave me $100 to be here today.
to pretend to be your husband.
Yeah. We just found him on the street on the way here.
Yep. Just somebody in the school. But no, it's so good to have you here today with us, Jim.
We can put the rumors to rest. He does exist.
He does exist.
He's a real
and
thing.
He is awesome. He doesn't smell like Bigfoot.
Nope.
He's not musky.
Well, in a good way.
No comment.
Gonna jump right into the shout-outs.
Okay.
17 of them since last time.
Wow. Take a deep breath, Kurt.
I'm working on it. Looking at some of these names.
He has a tough first name, I think.
No, Chris.
Oh.
That's not the tough.
It's
So
the
our
last
shout-outs to
names
our
that
newest
are tough.
strangers, Chris Caldwell, Chad Werrick, Jennifer Brogden-Howell, Heidi Zemiansky, Rasputina Skeen, Suzanne Bryan McCafferty, Haley Stevenson Terry, Jen PH, Jim Baca, Mike Brown, who runs a podcast called Pleasing Terrors, which I need to listen to, but I've heard a lot of really good things about it.
Yeah, a lot of strangers like it.
So thanks for joining, Mike. Brandy Shell, Jan Antignoli, Rebecca Rode, Anna Thavasuk, Peter Ballog, and Kate Berry.
I love how all these sound like questions.
I'm not exactly sure. So
wow, that's a lot of new strangers.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining the strangers. What I think I need to do is, you know how when somebody joins the strangers, we have our 3 questions?
Put the phonetic
I need to put a 4th question on there and say, how do you phonetically pronounce your name so I don't massacre it during shout-outs?
Although people do give good feedback saying, wow, you actually got my name right.
Or, wow, you massacred my name.
Yeah, you really messed that up.
Yeah, so I need to start doing that. Housekeeping?
We wanted to give a shout out to Kate.
Yes.
She specifically said we did not have to give her a shout out, but we're giving her one.
That ain't how it works, Kate.
Exactly.
You get what we give you.
So Kate is Jeff's wife, Jeff from Paranormal Palaver and Old School Media, and Jeff's grandma passed away a few weeks ago.
Oh.
Yeah. And
Sorry.
She worked at the Sheboygan County Asylum back in the day. And so Kate, when they were cleaning out her belongings, his family ran across this, it's like a wooden plaque that has a picture of the asylum on it. And it had
cool.
some kind of, plaque below it that probably said, thank you for your time, blah, 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 blah. That's missing, but it's really cool to have a picture of the asylum because we drive by it on the way here every single time. And we're fascinated with the place. We'd love to go inside. So Kate was like, don't throw it out. I got to check and see if Kurt and Krista want it. And of course we do.
I love it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I want to kind of put a little plaque on there that says, congratulations, Kurt, on your getting released.
For evading capture for so long?
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Jim?
Is that the place that they went for?
Yeah, on Destination Fear,
yeah.
yes.
Yep. We went past it on the drive here.
So we've seen the inside. We've just never been inside.
That's where somebody just broke in recently, and they had it on Facebook that they had the camera footage of whoever broke in there wanting to figure out who it was.
Right at the camera, too.
I hope they catch them.
Anything else? Any other housekeeping? I can't think of anything.
All I have is that we just want to say again how cool it is that so many of our listeners started podcasts of their own.
Yeah.
There's so many. Mm-hmm. And I finally did listen to Xander and Stone.
Isn't it good?
I love it.
Yeah, it's really good.
I really do.
They have a great dynamic, great voices, great topics.
Yes.
So Xander and Stone podcast, check it out.
So that is awesome.
Yeah. Still working on the mugs. Be patient. Sorry.
Yeah, we
decided we're not selling mugs anymore. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
No, we're working out some kinks and figuring some stuff out.
We have to figure out what the final weight is of the package because it's going to really affect the shipping costs. So we're noobs.
We are noobs. Do we have anything else?
Should we do?
We didn't talk about the weather. We always complain about the weather.
We always complain about the weather. Today is pretty, I don't know.
It's been too warm this week.
Yeah, it was actually 80s this week. Jim works outside, so he's looking forward to cooler weather.
Absolutely.
It's supposed to be pretty.
50s.
Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Super excited about that. Fall is here.
Oh, fall is here. Our wedding anniversary was on the autumnal equinox.
I know.
So that was
so
very
cool.
exciting. And Sophie and Adam,
Adams
same anniversary. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So happy
Is that what
anniversary.
you call a synchronicity?
It could be a synchronicity.
Kind of a synchronicity.
Yeah.
I feel like there was something else we were going to talk about. Just once again, answer the questions.
Oh, yeah. We have a lot of people who are asking to join.
This week we were just hammered with people that didn't answer the questions.
Yeah.
And I wonder if somebody else started another Facebook group called The Strangers or something like that.
There are other groups called The Strangers. One is like fans of the movies.
Yeah.
That series, The
Yeah.
Strangers. Great movies, by the way. But
okay.
yeah. And I just wonder if they're thinking and they're joining another group, because one person, what is our favorite topic? We've covered it and it said food, which sort of applies,
Yeah.
but
Maybe
not
they
enough.
just like listening to the taste tests.
Maybe, but they could have been more specific.
Yeah.
Because we denied them.
So yeah, you don't answer the questions, you get denied.
You're getting denied.
You can't join this swell little group.
Our family, our very strange family.
I have no other updates. Work is going okay. I love most of my students. A couple of them try my patience, but I love most of them.
As adolescents will do.
That is. Jim is already looking at the taste test items.
He's got the munchies. He's looking for a snacko. Should we do the tarot and then do the taste test? Okay.
Yes.
So we're actually going to do a reading for Jim today.
I'm
Woohoo.
so excited.
Mine have been strangely accurate.
I've done, mine always are too. I can always find some bead of relevance. So the question we're thinking about is what does the universe want Jim to know today? And I've done a couple. I mean, we've asked some questions at home. One of them was surrounding like renovations on our house. Are we on the right path with how we're handling our
Did it
house?
say yes?
Yeah, it did actually. So that's good. Wow.
Now you need a Ouija board for home.
No, I just feel like I don't need that. I'll take that postcard.
The Ouija board postcard?
Yeah, that's a cool postcard, actually. Okay. Actually, do you want to cut the deck 3 times?
3 times.
Yeah, just like in 3 piles. I should have you do that, Kurt, when I do yours. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Ooh, I just pulled this card for myself earlier this week. It's the 8 of Swords.
Swords?
Yep.
Do you really pronounce it sword?
No.
Okay.
This is really funny. Josh, my friend Josh, Rosh, Da, he has a lot of nicknames. For some reason, he's a big fan of the Stephen King's Dark Tower series
Yes,
too,
so
and
am I.
like, I don't know where. I don't even know if it relates to that. Do people even use swords? No, they use guns. I don't know where it comes from, but Josh and I pronounce it swords. That's like a little joke of ours, and it's not a word I say very often. So
Good. You had me scared when you actually
Okay.
pronounced it like that.
She also says knife.
knife.
Well, knife, I understand, but swords is just weird.
Pahone instead of phone. Okay. So 8 of Swords. Ugh, I don't know about this, babe. Trapped, powerless.
Oh, boy.
That's how I feel right now.
Surrounded by obstacles and threats on all sides, you find yourself the victim. You see no way out. That's our marriage, basically.
Wow.
No available choices. Your perceptions keep you from opening your wings and taking flight. What keeps you suspended here, yourself or others? The 8 of Swords demands an answer. You cannot hang here much longer.
Oh.
What's the relevance of that?
What's up with that?
Yeah, Jim, explain yourself.
I got nothing on that one.
Yeah, I don't really either. I can't think of a
that was-
situation where you feel trapped or
This is different for me. It's just
maybe that's it.
out of my
It could be.
out
He
of my
does. I
realm.
kind of had to talk him into this.
I did not think that he was actually going to
No,
go
I
through
didn't
with
either.
it.
I didn't either.
But it's
Even if you said
intimidating.
you
It's
would
intimidating
yesterday.
if you've never done this.
Right. So you do feel a little. Maybe that's it. It's him being here in this little office with us.
Remember, I drank beer my first couple episodes till I was actually kind of comfortable. That's
funny.
another thing I wanted to talk about is that our first 2 episodes seem to
yeah.
be missing from iTunes.
Somebody asked what the topics were, and I think it was,
It was
the blue whale,
and
sleep paralysis?
investigations.
Oh, investigations. Okay.
Ghost investigations.
I think maybe we're running out of space on our server or something. I can't think of any other reason.
But we don't know the technical side of that, so Krista's got
I reached out to Joe, and we're
whoever
gonna,
runs our webpage.
Yeah,
But that's my guess. They're still on.
I think they're still on YouTube.
they're
right?
still on YouTube.
and they're on the website. You can go right to the website to listen to them.
But if they're not there, they're rare. Keep those. If you have them
Yeah.
downloaded, you can use those for barter in prison, I guess.
Okay, like cigarettes.
Like cigarettes.
Sweet.
Yeah, I got the first 2 episodes of the Strange Sessions.
All right, taste test.
Taste test.
So.
Oh, should we open the package first? Or
Oh yeah,
taste
let's
test?
open the package.
We got a package from Stranger Jeff in Cincinnati. And I don't know what this is.
Yeah. I don't either.
It's an envelope and it has paper. It feels like paper.
I wonder if there's like a postcard or in there or something, and it's like being
It's
protected by
possible.
cardboard. I love guessing. It could be nothing.
On the way
like
here,
this.
I thought ransom note.
Ransom note, but we can't think of anyone who's missing.
Do you want to open it or should I?
Let's make-
it's yours.
Oh, come on.
It's addressed to
I like
Strange
hearing-
Sessions and Kurt Konechny. So if it's
Oh,
a
you
ransom
should
note,
probably-
it's coming right to me.
Yeah. Narnia might be missing when you get home.
She wouldn't. Oh. I hope the person
That's
has.
not funny.
I hope the person has yogurt to give her every night. Otherwise, she's gonna meow at you if you don't.
So she's just as set in her routine as Kurt is.
Yes, she is totally.
That's cute.
Oh, it's a hidden Ohio map and guide to ancient American sites, haunted locations, sacred geography, scenic byways, strange creatures, and unexplained mysteries.
Oh, that's really cool.
This
oh,
is-
look at that.
This is seriously cool.
That is neat.
We should go
There's a
because it is
picture.
not that long of a drive.
There's a picture of Bigfoot on the front.
This is cool.
So this whole thing opens up.
Into a map.
If I do it, I
enormous
won't be
map.
able to. Oh, that's so cool. There's like little pictures all over it.
We need to hang
and-
that up in here too.
Did we do an Ohio episode?
Yes, that was our first Strange, but a couple hours away to Ohio.
We should totally do a road trip. People are going to start sending us maps with the expectation that we're going to go there. I think we
is
should.
cool.
This is really cool. I just to like spend time looking at it. Oh, that's cool. I want to go there.
Yeah,
Whatever that is.
that is awesome.
Well, thanks,
hidden
Jeff.
Ohio. I want to hang that up in here, but I kind of want to read that too.
I want to do one of those things where you have like tacks and strings, like
We
Like-
could get them going between all the walls.
right. That's really cool. Thanks, Jeff.
Yes, thank you so much for this, Jeff. This is awesome. I want it hung.
There's not like a letter missing or tucked in there somewhere. We have a tendency to miss letters that people send us, and then we discover them after we're done recording. Like the amazing Bigfoot sculpture that was sent to us.
Yes.
Oh, we should show you that before we leave, Jim.
Yeah. See if you
so you
think
can
we
actually
fix
see it in person. Oh, we forgot to bring glue.
We did.
Should I bring it home and we can fix
If you
it?
want.
We can talk about this offline.
Jim's very much a handyman.
Yes.
Me, on the other hand, not so much.
It would come back with like its head glued to its foot.
I wish I could say you're wrong. I wish
He's
I
like
could
an
say
inbred Bigfoot.
inbred Bigfoot would be disturbing.
Yes, it would. Okay. Oh, taste test. Okay, so
We're doing something different today. I don't think we've ever done this before.
that I can remember.
What we're going to do today is we actually have two different brands of dill pickle flavored popcorn. So we're going to compare them and see which one is our favorite.
We're gonna do a compare and contrast.
One of them was sent to us in the package from, I believe April sent that to us.
Okay. Yeah, she sent us a big box full of goodies.
This one is Clancy's popcorn dill pickle flavor. And she has a piece of paper in there that says not spicy. A lot of flavors, but not spicy.
And this one is from the Broadway Popcorn Company, which is in Sheboygan Falls, which is
Sweet.
just like 10
I was,
minutes
I
from
was there
here.
for a wedding last week.
And this is from my coworker Kayla, who I've never even met, but it's great. She's a stranger. She dropped these off the other day, and
I wish you would have been.
wasn't
I wish you
there.
would have been there that you could have
I
met
know.
her.
I think I must have been in a meeting. She said, "Krista and Kurt, your gift is still MIA, almost as elusive as Bigfoot, so that'll come later. Enjoy." Should we try this one first?
Sure.
Okay. Oh, hold on. I have to take pictures.
At least you're not
When I
getting
grab that
anything.
paper towel, babe.
At least Jim's not getting anything really gross
Yeah, we're not making him taste bugs or anything.
or fish.
It smells good. Ooh.
You definitely don't like the fish.
Anything with a fish aftertaste is just bad.
No thanks.
I'm just gonna dump a little bit out on my thing.
I'm just gonna,
Paper towel.
Whoa.
It just rolled across the table.
put it right on my keyboard. That's how I roll.
Okay, you ready? Jim's got to sit down. Why don't you have a seat and join us?
Didn't know I'd have to work.
He also didn't know selfies would be involved, and he's
Yeah,
not.
he's not a fan of selling, but he
he
looks
does not
good. He
like
looks kind of
pictures.
badass in that picture.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Yummy.
It's way more buttery than dilly.
There's a hint of dill, though.
Yeah.
It's actually
get
really
into it a little bit more.
Yeah, you got to talk closer. Sorry.
Once you get into it, a couple pieces, it starts getting dilly.
I love popcorn.
I love it. This is really buttery. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bet you it's got coconut oil. It has to be done in coconut oil.
I just want to sit here and I can taste the dill though. The dill is very subtle.
Coconut oil.
Wow.
Look at you.
A little bit of a popcorn connoisseur.
I love it. It's delicious. Okay, should we taste both before we rate?
Huh?
Should we taste them both before we rate them?
Yes.
Okay.
This is Clancy's.
Clancy.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Kurt just took a whiff and
He
like
just
choked on the powder.
Some dill
I
pickle.
did. I just huffed some dill. This one's a little dillier.
Dilly dilly.
Dilly, yeah. Dilly, dilly. Good one.
Are you
Wow.
okay?
I think so. It's not COVID, it's dill.
Right? Do you have COVID? No, I have dill. Okay. Okay, you ready? Compare and contrast.
Jim just dives in.
Oh, that's way more dilly.
Oh yeah. Wow. Interesting. Wow.
No. I prefer my dill in pickle form.
No, that's very dilly. I'm guessing. I mean, this tastes like true dill though. Like they used actual dried dill. Not saying that the other one doesn't. It's just more subtle, and the butter flavor kind of overpowers it.
It says natural flavors. It's not bad.
No, I don't like it as much as the other though.
No.
If I'm being honest.
What's our rating? What's our rating for the first one?
The first one, I'm gonna give it a 9.
Whoa.
I am also going to give it a 9.
Whoa.
This one.
Yeah. I was
Go
gonna
ahead,
say
be
7.
honest.
Yeah,
Okay,
7.
that's fine. 7. I think that's fair.
What about the second one?
I'm giving that one a 7.
5.
Okay.
7.
I like the flavor. They both have the same kind of texture. They're not super crunchy. They're actually got a little bit of chew to them, which I'm okay with. But I need some butter flavor with my popcorn, and I feel like that one, the first one from just up the road here, I love that it's locally made, number one, so it's not mass produced. But I like the more subtle dill flavor.
I like the
This
first one
is,
because
like,
it's
very
buttery.
dill.
The first one is really buttery tasting, and I think that's a coconut oil, but I'm spoiled because I love the coconut oil popcorn. They have, I can't think of that brand, but there's a brand, a cheese one, that is so good.
White cheddar is like the
But
best.
one of the things is that popcorn like that can give you diarrhea if you eat too much of it.
TMI.
Well, then
Are
I'm
you
gonna
speaking
stop.
from
No, that's what people have told me.
Experience.
That's what people have told me.
coconut oil? Is it the
I think it might be
coconut
the
oil?
coconut oil because, I mean, if you eat that whole bag, there's a lot of trans fat in there too, but that was one of the things is that people are getting diarrhea from it.
Well, all right. We've been warned.
Yeah.
Okay. Who wants to take what home? We don't have to answer that on.
I'll take the super dilly. I'll take the really dilly
Really?
one. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yep.
You could actually melt some butter and put it over
Yeah.
that.
You
So
guys
we're
can have
taking that one home? Okay. Well, thank you, Kayla and
April.
April for the taste tests. What,
That
20
one's-
minutes and like 29 seconds. Our tittillating 20. We got it dialed in today.
No one's growing on me.
Is it?
Oh, no, it's not. Never mind. It snuck up on me.
Okay. Should we dive in?
We are going to dive into the episode. I am going to do a disclaimer. I greatly dislike this episode. I don't like this topic. I feel like this is going to be a weak episode
Can you explain why, though?
because it's cursed. This episode's cursed. That's the
Is
only
this
thing.
like my Blair Witch Paranormal Palaver? We could not get that episode out to save our lives.
Probably, because this one, I started doing this back in April, and that's when I lost my job. So I was like, sweet, now I'm going to have extra time to work on it. And I was like so stressed. I just could not get going on it. And then I felt like I was in a daze and I wasn't really doing a really good job of researching. So I put it on the back burner. And then when I got this new job, I was like, sweet, we kind of have this one started. So this will be an easy one. And that first week I was super stressed. Last week I wanted to work on it and stuff kept popping up. Sunday I went to work on it and I worked on it for like an hour and 15 minutes and my computer locked up and I had to
Oh, no.
restart it and I lost all my stuff. And then yesterday when I went to print it out the first half and then something happened with my printer. So I spent half an hour trying to print the rest of it.
Wow.
So I do not like this episode. I think this episode is cursed, and I apologize. If this is your first time listening, go listen to a better episode. But
Like our last episode with Corey, that was a good episode.
that was a good episode.
I'm excited to be here. It sounds
That's
really
one of the
exciting.
reasons why I'm happy you're here, is because you'll make it at least a
It'll
more
distract
memorable
everyone.
episode because
Yeah.
Jim was here.
Oh, that's
So I was
funny.
super happy to find out that you were coming along. But the topic is sky sounds. You know, a couple people have asked about that.
And I'm excited about this topic. I love this topic. I don't know much about it, but
It's interesting, but I don't really know.
do we have sound clips?
No, but I can put videos, links
Okay.
to so many videos. I can put links to
Yeah.
videos when we post this one.
Maybe we can. Oh, we don't have the
And
internet.
I'm also going to be posting this early. I'm going to post it tomorrow evening instead of Monday evening because I am going to be on Historical Ramblings Monday with Lauren and
Brian.
and Neil Story.
Yeah.
Really, really cool.
Well-known
historian.
paranormal
Yes.
and paranormal investigator,
yep,
right?
and a historian. He's big
In
in
the
the Jack the
UK.
Ripper. I've listened to their episodes with him, and he sounds awesome. So
Cool.
it'll be very
Oh,
cool.
so he's been on their
Exciting.
show before.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I unfortunately can't join because I'm still at work when they're recording.
I just wish you could.
And I'm also starting a class and I'm knee deep in essays.
I thought you were going to say I'm
so-
starting a new podcast that night.
Yeah.
So sky sounds.
Sky sounds.
Although the phenomena of strange sky or environmental sounds seems relatively new, I forgot my other glasses too, so now everything is blurry. I hate this episode. Although the phenomena of strange sky or environmental sounds seems relatively new, strange sounds have occurred on and off throughout history. One example of this is the Seneca guns. The story began in 1850 when James Fenimore Cooper wrote a legend about Seneca Lake in the Finger Lakes of New York. He described the sound as, quote, a sound resembling the explosion of a heavy piece of artillery that can be accounted for by none of the known laws of nature. The report is deep, hollow, distant, and imposing. The lake seems to be speaking to the surrounding hills, which sends back the echoes of its voice in accurate reply. The primary legend believed by European settlers is that the booms are ghostly remnants of the Seneca tribe of Native Americans still fighting for their land and freedom from beyond the grave and shaking our entire state along with it. The Seneca tribe, however, passed down oral traditions that the lake gun was actually the angry shouts of their god Manitou. Given that the Seneca tribe passed down stories about the booms in the 1600s and 1700s long before Europeans created their own legend, it seems that their story holds more validity. And according to a June 16th, 2017 Mental Floss article called Are Skyquakes Real? Quote, no one has been able to fully explain why certain areas experience periodic skyquakes, but enough evidence exists to suggest that this is a real phenomena and that the residents of these areas aren't making up stories. The fact that there are words to describe this event in different languages lends further credibility. In Japan, they are called umanari, or the rumbling of the sea. In Dutch, they're called mistpuffers, which is
Oh,
cool.
that's my favorite.
It's M-I-S-T.
It's like a sky fart.
It is like a sky fart. And as an aside, whenever I was on my phone is autocorrect.
Oh,
Friends
love
of
it.
mine know this. I would type in sky booms and it would change to
Boob.
sky boobs.
Of course.
And I would get some really interesting pictures for sky boobs.
That's great.
But it's mist puffers. Mistpoffers.
Okay.
Mist puffers.
Puffers.
And in parts of the United States, it's called the Seneca guns. So these are definitely a thing. They're heard all over the world. Moving closer to the current time, we have the Taos popcorn kernel. We have the Taos hum, which is a strange humming or buzzing sound that a percentage of Taos, New Mexico residents could hear, and it became really disruptive to their lives. The Taos hum is believed to have first been reported in the early 1990s. And that's not the only one. There's been several others, such as the Windsor hum or the Bristol hum in the UK. But the recent phenomena of mysterious sounds coming from the sky seems to have started sometime around 2011. Clintonville, Wisconsin actually had a period where these strange sky booms were heard. This timing was significant to a lot of people because of 2012.
Oh,
everybody
the end of the
everybody
world?
was convinced that the world was going to end in 2012 because
The Mayan calendar. Yeah.
The Mayan calendar supposedly ended in 2012, and it was just a really weird apocalyptic time to live through. And it was a bizarre time.
I love the posts that have been on our Facebook page lately
Yeah.
about did the world actually end in 2012?
That comes up kind of in the theories. I mean, that is one of the theories
Yeah.
about this. There's a lot of people that do think that the world did end in 2012.
We're in like a parallel
universe or a simulation. We'll get to that, though.
Well, you just curded yourself.
I did. I'm okay with curding myself. You know, a lot of people thought the world was going to end back then. Some think it did. But when you have this idea of the end of the world getting closer and then you start hearing weird sounds coming from the sky, it's kind of easy to put two and two together and start thinking the strange sounds and the end of the world are connected. So around 2011, people began slowly putting videos on YouTube where they recorded strange sounds that they were hearing, and it's pretty much continued nonstop since then.
We're going to hear that. He just rubbed his beard on the microphone, and I'm like, that's going to come through.
It probably will.
Yeah, we'll just leave it.
Okay.
You can edit it out if you want.
That was Jim's beard. There are a few different types of sounds. Sound number 1 is sky booms or skyquakes. According to a 2018 article on howstuffworks.com called What Are Skyquakes? Quote, at approximately 1:45 p.m. on November 14, 2017, residents of 15 Alabama counties reportedly were shocked by a startlingly loud boom that caused a lot of them to call 911 operators in alarm. As the National Weather Service's Birmingham station tweeted not quite a couple of hours later, there wasn't any clear explanation for the noise. Radar scans and satellite imagery of the region didn't show any large fires or smoke from an explosion, and the U.S. Geological Survey didn't spot any signs of an earthquake in its seismic monitoring system. We don't have an answer. We can only hypothesize with you, tweeted the NWS. But Alabama isn't the only place where things have been booming lately. Skyquakes, as they're commonly called, recently have been heard all across the U.S. in states ranging from New Jersey to Idaho, as well as places as far away as India, where the seaside resort towns of Diga and Mandarmani were jolted in August by a boom so loud that it shattered hotel windows.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
not subtle at all.
No, that is not subtle.
Are any of these on like YouTube or anything?
I believe so.
And you can edit this out, but we should listen to some of them so Jim knows what we're talking about as you get to them. Like if there's anything I can look up and play for him real quick.
If you can get a signal.
Well, I think I have a signal. Yeah, I have YouTube open.
Okay. The ones that I think you're going to find are the trumpets.
Okay. We'll look that up when we get to it.
Yeah. There's probably sky booms one, but it's just like a boom, like a thunder boom that comes from out of nowhere when it's not raining. And
Even like a sonic boom? Could it?
That's what I thought of too. Are we going to get to that,
We'll
Kurt?
get to that.
Oh, you just got curded.
All right. I feel
think-
legit now.
I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but I think we have a new record for theories.
Oh, like number of theories?
20 theories.
How many sub-theories do we have?
I think, no, I didn't even go into sub-theories, but we
okay.
do have 20 theories,
Dang.
ranging from goofy to, I could see it.
Okay.
Yeah. So another sound number 2 that people hear is the humming sound. There's the Taos hum, which is a strange humming or buzzing sound that a percentage of Taos, New Mexico residents could hear. And a January 2nd, 2018 article on Cosmos magazine website called 5 Sounds Science Can't Explain says, quote, a constant low-frequency sound has been plaguing people around the world since at least the 1960s, from Canada to New Mexico, from Scotland to New Zealand. Most who hear it say that it sounds like a truck engine idling, and earplugs do not help block it out. Called the hum, it is so well documented that we even have some stats. It can only be heard by about 2% of the population. It is generally present indoors, and it becomes louder at night. It is heard more often in rural and suburban areas, and it tends to be heard by middle-aged people.
I could see
Which
how
is
that
weird.
would get to you, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've seen interviews. I remember, I think Unsolved Mysteries did an episode about this, and people said it's like literally driving them insane.
Yeah.
Hearing this background hum
And there's
all the
nothing you
time.
can do to get rid of
No,
it.
they put in earplugs, nothing.
I think it makes...
Tinnitus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I think it makes sense that you would hear it more in rural areas because you don't have city noises to cover it up.
Yeah. The middle-aged people thing
weird.
is weird because
weird.
there's that, I don't know if it was an app. It was like big years ago, but there was an app where you would play it, and only certain people of a certain age would hear it.
Really?
Yeah, like teenagers wouldn't hear it, but like if you were in your 30s or 40s, you would hear this high-pitched sound. Almost like a dog whistle.
Yeah.
But young people couldn't hear it. Older people could.
A middle-aged person whistle.
Yeah. Basically, that's what it was.
Okay. Weird.
According to an article on theconversation.com, quote, somebody said, in the spring of 2012, when I was living near the coastal village of Sechelt on British Columbia's picturesque Sunshine Coast, I began hearing a humming sound, which I thought were float planes. The noise usually started later at night, between 10 and 11 p.m. My first clue that something unusual was happening came with the realization that the sound never faded away like plane noises typically do. And the slightest ambient noise, exhaling audibly, even turning my head quickly, caused it to momentarily stop, but just for 1 second.
What?
One night after the sound started, I stepped outside the house. Nothing. I was the only person in the house who could hear it. My family said they didn't know what I was talking about. When I searched on the internet for unusual low-frequency humming noises, I soon realized that others had conducted the same search. I was part of a small fraction of people who could hear what is called the, quote, worldwide hum, or simply the hum. The hum is experienced as a consistent low-pitched noise, much like the sound of a large truck idling in a nearby parking lot. It is said to cause symptoms that range from insomnia to headaches to dizziness. You think you're Mickey Mouse. You think you're Mickey Mouse.
That's a great movie.
But because its actual source is unknown, it is impossible to discern its effects accurately.
I wonder if it's coming from like either the infrastructure under your house, like whether that's plumbing or if it's coming from electrical or...
It's possible. I mean, we'll get more to that in
Because
theories,
why can you
obviously,
only
but
hear
it makes...
inside?
Some people don't. Some people... There are videos where I think one of them actually was from Unsolved Mysteries, where they went out with a camera crew and recorded, and you can kind of hear what they're talking about.
It's interesting that this person said it started up at a certain time at night, though.
Yeah.
Whereas other people seem to hear it all the time.
Yep.
I think it's really weird that it stopped when you like changed
Turned
his
your
head.
head.
That was one of the weirder things.
Yeah.
You know, I don't... Is
Like,
it
in your
something?
head?
That's what I'm wondering. Is it
Ooh.
something that's like you're
That's
conducting
creepy.
a sound somehow, and you're,
It's being transmitted.
you know, like I talked about this
Like a
on here before,
transmission.
that I regret not buying the sucker that I saw at Walmart. It was like $15, and it was a lollipop on like a plastic. It looked weird. It was an actual like lollipop on a plastic thing that had a battery in it,
Oh.
and it also had like a plastic thing you could screw on when you sucked down the lollipop. But the thing was, when you put it in your mouth and bit on it, you would hear radio stations.
Oh, hell no.
It was like a radio tuner, and you would
I don't
hear
like
radio
it.
stations in your head because it would vibrate. So you would be biting on this thing, but you would be the only person that would hear this radio station because you were holding it with your teeth, and it was vibrating at that level.
It's so messed up.
I wish I would have bought it because I think that's kind of cool. But it's like people that had
Get out of my head,
people
man.
that had fillings back in the day
Yeah.
that would get radio stations.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so this could be something like
Something along those lines.
that. Sound number 3, and this is a very well-known one in the recent decade or two, is trumpets. If you want to play
Yeah, I'm going to find one. It reminds me of movies like
Red
War
State?
of the Worlds.
that came up a
Okay.
lot in that. But Krista's going to play a sound of the trumpet.
see, I
Look for
guess.
Kiev, because Kiev,
Oh.
like trumpet sound Kiev.
Hold on.
Seems like a subway going by or something.
That's what it sounds like.
Or a horn in the
But,
like a train
You know,
horn
some
or
people call it
something?
a trumpet. Some people call it a scraping noise. Some people call it a groaning noise.
Yeah.
So
Like it sounds like heavy machinery grinding.
yes,
You know,
yeah.
it's
But there's
weird.
some that does sound more like a trumpet.
Yeah.
So this phenomena has been described as the long, prolonged blare of a trumpet or a groaning, scraping, metallic sound. One of the first videos taken featuring the sound was shot in Kiev. I'll post a video in the Strangers. It's still happening. From a February 13th, 2020 article in the Anchorage Daily News, quote, around 5 a.m. Monday, a loud sound moved throughout parts. Quote, around 5 a.m. Monday, a loud sound moved through parts of Anchorage. It came in bursts, getting louder, then evaporating. It was heard from Midtown to West Anchorage, from Spenard to the old Seward Highway. Some heard it once, others repeatedly heard it for hours. People miles apart reported the tone abruptly waking them up. It's almost like a foghorn or screeching metal on metal, said Jamie James, weird, who heard the sound as she was getting ready for work in her home near Lake Spenard. Every time I tell someone about it, I say it sounds like a submarine scraping the bottom of a pool or something, says Melissa Thompson, who went outside to record the sound. I would say it sounded like underwater moaning, said Stephanie Quinn Davidson, who lives near Ted Stevens Anchorage International Airport and has heard the sound multiple times over the years. It's eerie, described by some on social media as symphonic. It's also sporadic, ramping up for about 20 seconds and then disappearing. For every explanation floated on social media, there's a counter-argument. Reports of the noise come in the summer when plows aren't operating. Some reports are miles from the airport, casting doubt on the claim that graders breaking up ice on the airport runways could make such a loud noise. One of the most popular theories has an unusual name, quote, trumpets from the sky. A noise similar to what's being heard around Anchorage has been recorded around the world. People subscribing to this theory tend to believe that the phenomenon happening in Anchorage is related to the noises elsewhere, but there isn't a consensus on what exactly that phenomenon is. What's weird, though, is that these sounds, the trumpet sounds, kind of started around 2010 or 2011 and weren't really heard before that time. And that is what really tied this in with the apocalypse, with 2012 with the world ending.
When did the whole Hadron Collider thing start?
I believe that was...
I try to think of stuff like that. When did that happen?
I want to say 2008.
Okay.
Somewhere...
Like they started actually using it?
My phone changed hadron to a different term that's not... that is not hadron.
You got a perverted phone.
And it's telling me the
It
definition.
knows
It's telling me the
very well.
definition. It's telling me the definition of what I typed. I know what it is. I don't get a signal here. Type hadron.
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 Great.
Hadron.
We're going to be traumatized after this. I think of, okay, what kind of interesting technology has been
That
developed
always reminds
around
me
that
of my
time?
dad. I think I talked about this on here, that he was a driller for the Corps of
2008.
Engineers. Yep, 2008.
You're right,
He was a
2008.
driller for the Corps of Engineers. Supposedly, there's still some debate on what exactly he did.
Right,
Corey is actually
007.
trying to do a Freedom of Information Act to
Ooh,
find
I
out
love
what he
it.
was into.
That'd be so interesting.
But he told me that one day. He said, one of our parts on our machine broke at work, so I had to do a Google search for steel penetrating rods. He said, don't ever do an image search for steel penetrating rods on Google.
Oh, that's funny.
So, okay, 2008. So
2008.
this would kind of fit in with the Large Hadron
it
Collider.
started up in 2008,
Yeah.
though. So you never know how long it takes for effects from something weird like that, Maybe that's what caused the world to end.
That's one of the
We all
theories, and
got
it caused the
sucked into
Mandela
a
effect.
black hole.
Do you know what the Large Hadron Collider is?
Yes.
Okay,
It was on the news. I mean,
a lot of people don't.
I know. Well, now do you want to explain what it is in case anyone listening
I
doesn't
don't
know?
really know a good way to describe it. They were just
I don't either.
Trying to
whizzing,
make a black hole.
Yeah,
correct?
trying to like kind of create a black hole. But they were like,
in
no,
like
it's-
super, super, super mini form, though.
yeah.
Let's
But
not
that is
destroy the universe.
That is around the time the Mandela effect supposedly started. That's around the time that these sky trumpets started. Not saying it's connected, but not saying it's connected. You know what I
Wink,
mean?
wink.
Saying,
Wink, wink.
Just saying.
And sound type number 4 is just miscellaneous sounds. There's been a lot of like miscellaneous sounds, but it's just hard because some people lump the trumpets in with that, and everybody describes them differently. Like the groaning, some people say it's a metallic scraping, but there's just other miscellaneous sounds. In April of this year, people in the Slovakian capital city that wasn't a sky sound, that was Bigfoot.
You probably didn't hear that. It was too far
In
from the
April
mic.
of this year, people in the Slovakian capital city of Bratislava heard a sound coming from the sky that they described as, quote, Darth Vader breathing,
Oh, that would be weird.
which is creepy. Yeah.
I'm imagining that coming from the sky and thinking, oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
Take cover.
Yep. The website strangesounds.org is a great place to see videos or hear news of the most recent unexplained sounds.
Okay.
So that's
Didn't
really
know that
what I
was a
have
thing.
for the strange sounds. Now we get to theories.
Which is good. The whole second half of the episode is going to be theories.
20
apparently.
theories.
Wow. Okay. I'm ready.
Theory number 1, the apocalypse or the second coming of Jesus.
So the Bible must speak
There's
of
a
this.
lot of stuff in the Bible about trumpets and the end of the world. Matthew 24:31 says, quote, Jesus said, he shall send his angels with the great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. 1 Corinthians 15:52 says, in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, which is significant because of...
Interesting.
For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. Revelation 8 says, I saw the 7 angels which stood before God, and to them were given 7 trumpets. And the 7 angels which had the 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound.
That's such a common imagery,
Yeah.
the angels with the trumpets.
with the trumpets. But you could see how that gets tied in with the trumpet sound coming from the sky, especially when you think the world is going to end.
Well, is this like a slow build-up then? Because it's been going on
That's
for a while.
exactly right.
Like,
If
get your stuff
if
together.
Jesus is coming back, he's taking his time.
He sure is.
According to some Christian beliefs, biblical prophecy says that Jesus will come back, and in the rapture, multitudes of people will be ascended into heaven. Then there will be a 7-year period known as the tribulation, where it will basically be crazy here on earth with religious wars and plagues and whatnot, which sounds...
Maybe we're in that right now.
That is one of the theories.
If I were Jesus, I'd stay away too.
People believe that we're possibly in that right now. After which Jesus will come back again for the last days and the trumpets will sound. According to the religious website, gotquestions.org.
I'm imagining the trumpet sounds. Jesus pokes his head and he's like, no, I'm not.
He's like, yeah, you guys are on your own.
I'll try again
you
next
guys are
year.
on your own.
Exactly.
According to the religious website, gotquestions.org, quote, those who look for a harbinger of the end times often refer to the sky trumpets as trumpets of the apocalypse. However, we know that these sounds, whatever they are not the last trumpet mentioned in 1 Corinthians 15:52 because the rapture has not yet occurred. We also know that the sounds cannot be the 7 trumpets of Revelation because the tribulation is not yet upon us, whether it is now.
So the rapture is the whole thing where people believe that if you're a Christian and you believe in God, you're literally gonna evaporate. Your clothes, your clothes are literally gonna be lying on the ground.
I think, based around that
because you have ascended out of your clothes and like up to heaven. Like people's shoes and shirts and pants are gonna be laying everywhere because they're
just gone.
Ascended up to heaven.
Immediately ascended to heaven.
Yeah.
But then
Naked.
people who aren't so cool get left behind, and that's when
that's us.
That's when the tribulations will happen.
We'll be in that reality Armageddon show.
It's just weird that they said the tribulation will involve a plague. But, the thing is that the world was supposed to end back on December 21st, 2012, according to the Mayan calendar. So people messed around with the numbers and said that date was wrong, that it was actually going to end on June 21st, 2020. And that's what the trumpet sounds were about. But we're still here, although some question whether or not the world is ending. But that's the thing, is that this was hyped up so much to be the second coming of Jesus and Armageddon, and it didn't happen. And the trumpet sounds are still happening.
Yeah.
So like we said, either he's taking his sweet time or it's something else.
I vote something else.
Theory number 2, of course.
Bigfoot?
No Bigfoot. Bigfoot did not show up on this. Maybe it's his mating call.
Aliens?
Maybe it's UFOs. And some people believe that it is caused by a new species of aliens visiting us.
I would think it's more likely their crafts are making some kind of
that's what they
noise.
mean, is that it is the alien crafts.
Not
going
them
through
like
the
hanging
atmosphere.
out their windows and yelling.
Giving us a shout out on
Howling
their flyby.
What's up, Earthling?
But I couldn't really find a lot about this. It's just that people say that's one of the causes, but they don't really say why that's one of... I don't think that there's been like a huge increase in people seeing UFOs when they're hearing the trumpet sounds.
Right.
So I don't know.
And this is what reminds me of War of the Worlds. It was just on HBO a couple of weeks.
But that's
the
what
Tom
a lot
Cruise
of
version.
people tie this in with the sound that they made in War of the Worlds.
Yeah, they make that weird like
like
trumpet
a groaning,
blast,
like a trumpet groaning
yeah,
sound.
it's really strange. But it was the crafts that were making the noise. I could see like when we talked about sonic boom, like an alien craft moving so fast that it
makes a boom, but not necessarily the trumpet sound.
No,
but if they have some
sounds...
propulsion system that sounds like that,
sounds like a trumpet. That'd be really funny.
Maybe they're beeping. Maybe it's their horn.
Get out of my way.
They're honking the horn on their way through.
I don't know. But that was one of the theories thrown out there, is that UFOs, but there wasn't really a lot of stuff backing that up. But you always
think that would be a more popular...
You would think so, but I think there's no way that... I think there's no way anybody... You can't really prove that or tie that into anything.
Well, because it's such a variety of sounds people are hearing.
Some people say that there's been more UFO sightings, but I think people are thinking that because there's been more like, I don't want to say they're coming forward, but they had the stuff with
the military
with the military
releasing-
and the UFOs. So people are kind of tying that in, saying that that's proof that aliens are visiting us more now or something. But
I think they always
just couldn't
have
find
been.
a lot about that. But it's just like, no, aliens are doing it. So that's just one of those things.
Okay.
Theory number 3, humanity being moved to a simulation. We're not going to delve into this too much right now because I do plan on having another episode about the Mandela effect and reality and CERN in the near future. But there are people who believe that we are currently living in a computer simulation or have been living in a computer simulation since 2012 when the world really did end. I've said it on here. I totally buy the computer simulation theory that we are living in a simulation, that maybe we're a program that...
It's very glitchy.
Well, that's the thing this year.
Right.
The IT needs to look at this
There's
because this year
definitely a
sucks.
virus going on.
Yeah, there is something
Well,
going on. But
clearly
there
we
are
have a
people that
virus,
legitimately
but-
think that. Sometimes I can totally see that. I can see the argument that we are living in a
Well, we
simulation.
wouldn't know.
No, we wouldn't know.
Wreck-It Ralph.
It would
Yeah.
it would seem like real life to us.
Mm-hmm.
So some people believe these trumpet sounds were caused by the simulation being switched on or put into place for us to be transferred to, because this happened.
So that's what the sounds are?
Yes, that it's the trumpet sounds was a simulation being switched on.
Is it like a fax machine?
Apparently that's the sound it makes.
Huh.
So the people believe that the current sounds and other strangeness are being caused by glitches in the simulation. And people say that's what the Mandela effect is that we are in a simulation that is glitching. And because I don't understand how this works, because then who's running the simulation?
Right.
But people believe that was the trumpet sound was a simulation being turned on or tuned in order to move all of us to this simulation.
The Illuminati. That would be Joe's answer.
And now
We tried to get him on today, but he wasn't
I think
available.
I do mention the Illuminati in one of these coming up,
Okay.
actually. But people believe that's what the sound was the simulation being switched on.
What were you
I
going
was
to
going
say?
to say we'll get to that.
See, he's learning. He's learning real fast.
Oh, great. This is going to be his new thing at home now.
So
get
I
to
can
that.
see that just because, like, the start of these trumpet sounds ties so much in with the start of all this, like
The timing is interesting.
Yeah,
that's
it is.
very interesting, but it kind of freaks me out totally. Like simulation stuff.
Yeah. Ooh, he
That
almost
is-
swore. Good
yeah.
save.
stuff.
Mind the strangelings that are
Yep.
listening.
So that is one of them. Humanity being moved to the simulation.
Yeah, I think that's why I don't like the simulation theory, because it freaks me out. Like, I don't like the idea that
But it
somebody
just doesn't make sense. Like, then who's
messing
running
with
the
me.
simulation theory? Say all of
Right.
humanity was moved. Did we, I find it hard to believe that the government did it when they can't even, barely do anything.
Right.
Much less get a simulation going that they can move us to. Is it aliens? Is it God? I don't know. Theory number 4, it is a mind control device. According to an April 10th, 2016 article in the New Republic called A Maddening Sound, it says, quote, in 2009, the first episode of the reality show Conspiracy Theory with Jesse Ventura offered a theory of the hum possibly stemming from a government mind control device. And in a 1998 X-Files episode, the hum, or something very much like it, caused spontaneous head explosions.
Spontaneous head
Spontaneous head explosions.
Okay.
On a Facebook page for hum sufferers, what
Is there a treatment for that?
I don't know.
They make a cream for that,
It'll
probably.
be like a commercial for some medication you can take.
Is it
Hum.
moderate to severe?
Moderate to severe hum suffering. On a Facebook page for hum sufferers, one rambling post describes how, quote, advanced satellite technology is being used as, quote, a brutal torture instrument by transmitting sounds, voices, and images directly into the brain, creating numerous pains and sensations throughout the body and significantly altering energy level and emotional states.
I love that it's described as a rambling
Rambling.
post.
So you know
'cause that
they're
sounds
a
really
little biased
accurate.
with this. Yeah. The post goes on to name several people who have been targeted by this technology, including Miriam Carey, the dental hygienist who drove through a White House checkpoint in 2013, setting off a high-speed chase that led to her death, and Aaron Alexis, the civilian contractor who on September 16, 2013, entered the Washington, D.C. Navy Yard and killed 12 people before dying in a firefight with police. I do remember that. Alexis has become, for some, proof positive that the hum is not merely an annoyance, but a massive government conspiracy. In a message later recovered by authorities from his computer, Alexis wrote that, quote, ultra-low frequency attack is what I've been subjected to for the last 3 months. And to be perfectly honest, it's what's driven me to this.
It reminds me of gang stalking. Just
Oh, it's very much like gang stalking. You know, but in gang stalking, only the person that's being gang stalked should hear this sound, this directed energy sound. But here, it's basically everybody. You know, so I don't know. But there are people that believe it is a mind control device. Theory number 5, it's distant aliens answering the Arecibo message. The Arecibo message is a 1974 interstellar radio message carrying basic information about humanity and Earth that was sent to the globular star cluster M13, which is 25,000 light years away from Earth. It was meant as a demonstration of human technological achievement rather than a real attempt to enter into a conversation with aliens. It was basically a binary grid with dots that were either on or off, and the ones that were on made a crude, for current time, image that included a figure of a human, a graphic of the solar system, a graphic of our DNA, and a graphic of the radio telescope. Some people believe that these sounds are an alien civilization responding to the message, but I don't know. You know, I mean, I get the theory. So they're on their planet beaming back something to us. And we just maybe can't decode what they're beaming back.
It reminds me of, like Jim said before, Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah.
Did you say that?
Yeah.
How they communicated through music.
It's very possible. And maybe what they're sending back, we're supposed to decode, but
it's like thousands of years old because it takes that long to get
it's
here.
just amazing. Like old TV shows that we broadcast back in the 60s and 70s is just getting out now to places like that. So they might be like seeing Three's Company on some distant planet or something like that.
You're welcome.
Theory number 6, and this is kind of a big one, and this pops up a lot, is fish mating.
What?
Fish mating.
Okay.
According to an October 24th, 2013 article in The Independent, quote, a mysterious hum has been keeping people in Hampshire awake all night, and scientists have said that there could be something fishy about it.
Yeah.
This noise pulsates through homes, forcing some residents of Hythe near Southampton to evacuate the area just to get a decent night's sleep. People have complained to their local council, and the blame has been put on everything from heavy industry to the large cargo ships coming in at Southampton docks. Some residents have even gone to the doctor thinking they had tinnitus. Scientists now think that the noise is being caused by fish competing to out-hum one another as part of an unusual mating ritual. Male midshipman fish let out a deep resonating drone which attracts females and acts as a challenge to other males. They are nocturnal creatures, but once they get going, they can keep up the distracting hum all night. Unfortunately for the residents of Hythe, the noise created by the midshipmen is of such a low frequency and long wavelength that it can carry through the ground, the walls, and into homes.
Wow.
And it's not just England. According to a 2012 Huffington Post article, quote, researchers at the University of Washington's marine biology program have developed their own theory. They believe that the midshipman fish, a species found in the Pacific Northwest, could be the cause of the hum people are hearing in Seattle. Part of the fish's mating call involves a long, extended hum. That hum, produced by male midshipman fish attempting to lure a mate, can cast for hours as males attempt to out-hum potential rivals. Scientists believe that the hum from the fish may be reverberating off the hulls of boats and buildings, which it can amplify for miles around.
Well,
so
and
that's
sound
very
carries
possible.
through and over water really well too.
Yeah.
So,
but that explains why it might be at night, is because the fish are nocturnal, and that's when they start doing this hum mating thing.
So isn't there one in New Mexico though? I don't think that's known
there's-
for having a lot
Exactly.
of water.
That's
So-
why this could explain some of it.
Some of it, right.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds highly logical and scientific. So
I mean, it does.
for that location.
But that's one that pops up a lot when you look at theories, is fish mating. Trying to get themselves a fish girlfriend. Theory number 7, waves in the air. In 2004, geoscientist David Deming wrote a paper on the hum. Being a hum hearer himself, he was fascinated with the subject. Deming looked into the history of the hum, saying that it was first documented in the late 1960s around Bristol, England, then appearing in the United States around the late 1980s in Taos, New Mexico. Deming looked into the theories about the hum, including phone signals, mass hysteria, and HAARP, finally stating that he thought the hum was being caused by VLF, or very low frequency waves. According to an article on theconversation.com, quote, Deming eventually fingered very low-frequency radio waves between 3 kilohertz and 30 kilohertz as the most likely culprit. The world's military powers use massive land-based and airborne transmitters on these frequencies in order to communicate with submerged submarines around the world. Radio waves at these frequencies can penetrate up to a solid inch of aluminum. I know I said this on here before, but I'm always bothered by the amount of waves that are in the air.
Yep.
You know, when I think back to the 70s, you had what? You had TV waves. I mean, phones were, you know, like electric.
Ground.
There weren't phone waves in the air.
Landline, geez.
Yeah,
Took me a while to get to that.
Think of the word either. But you really only had TV signals,
Radio waves.
no
microwaves, really.
CBs.
Yet. Yeah,
Right.
yet.
You know, you had your CBs, good buddy.
10-4.
10-4, good buddy.
Catch on flip-flop. We going by.
Keep your wheels out of the ditches and smoky out of your britches.
Alrighty then, I got nothing.
Just got nothing.
I didn't watch
But
Smokey
now,
and
like
the Bandit,
the
apparently.
amount of waves in the air is just kind of crazy.
With cell phones
Microwaves,
and
you'd have
5G and
you have
all this
5G
stuff
that people are
happening.
thinking might cause COVID.
You're right.
You know, so there's just so many signals in the air that some of it could be caused by this. But we do use very low frequency waves to converse with submarines, so I could see that being one of these
A source of the
causes.
hum.
Yep.
Yeah, going through an inch of
Yeah,
aluminum. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is. Theory number 8, HARP. We had a whole episode on HARP.
They're trying to stop us.
HARP. So, HARP is the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, which was a research program that analyzed the ionosphere with the hope to develop enhancement technologies for radio communication and surveillance. We had a whole episode about this. Some people think that it's being used to control the weather or used for mind control, and there is some sketchy stuff with HARP, but HARP really isn't supposedly active anymore.
So does that tie into your mind control earlier? Or is that...
It could, because if people believe that HARP is being used for mind control, people think that HARP might be what is causing these sounds from the sky. That might be one of the devices that is causing this.
All over the world.
That's the thing, is that HARP is kind of stationed in Alaska.
But if you have satellites,
But
I mean,
it could,
Yeah.
we talked in the episode about how it could beam to specific parts of the world.
Right.
But I just don't know. I don't know. I don't buy the HARP one. I just don't. I don't think HARP is being used to control the weather, and I don't think it's being used for mind control.
I'd like to know,
But, you know,
what's
some of the
the
stuff,
purpose? Like,
some of the
what
stuff
would their
with the
purpose
mind
be?
control episode, like that advertisement that
Yeah,
was
that's
on a
freaky.
billboard in the sky, but it was shooting a direct wave, a direct like laser beam to
Into
the ground.
their-
That when your skull crossed that, you would hear like somebody
Right.
was whispering in your ear.
That's freaky.
That is freaky, you know. So
It
I
reminds
mean,
me of your lollipop that you're talking
yeah,
about.
it kind of is. It's like directly messaging
Internal
yeah.
commercials.
Yep.
Blech.
But some people think that
I know,
HARP,
it gives you the heebie-jeebies,
some
doesn't
people
it?
think that HARP is doing that, and that this is a sound of HARP operating.
It's an invasion of privacy.
Theory number 9 is Project Bluebeam. This is an interesting one that I was actually going to do a mini mystery on a couple seasons ago, but I postponed it. I didn't. Project Bluebeam is kind of hard to get a grasp on. According to the theory, NASA and the Illuminati, or the New World Order, or the Freemasons, or whoever, are working together to establish a global religion to go along with the one world government they are working on, and their goal is to have the Antichrist as the head of their one world religion. They will accomplish this by using technology to beam holographic images into the sky, like that of religious figures or of an alien attack, to frighten the people of the world into accepting the one world government and the one world religion.
Who's the Antichrist?
I don't know.
Okay. They haven't selected
They
that
haven't
person
picked it
yet?
yet, I guess.
Okay.
is there
They will
a-
also be
Is he
using.
going to run for
Is that a
office?
vote?
Right.
I don't know. They will also be using VLF waves to beam messages directly into people's heads as if they were coming from God himself. But that's Project Bluebeam. They think that the government is going to use this holographic technology to make a pretend alien attack that will scare everybody so much. It was actually, this might be a spoiler if you haven't read it or seen it, but the Watchmen comic book series and the Watchmen movie kind of does this. Like, one of the superheroes is like the world's smartest man, and he ends up like killing a ton of the population with an attack that he orchestrates in order to get everybody together. You know what I mean? That he want to to unite the world against this thing. So that's kind of what he does, and that's kind of what this Project Bluebeam is that it's faking this thing that's going to scare everybody so much that they're going to accept the one world government that the Illuminati wants.
It's just a little elaborate and far-fetched for me, but
it's very elaborate and far-fetched. That's kind of why I think I put it off, because there's really not, much about it.
Here's your little mini mystery right now. There. You did it.
The Illuminati?
Not Illuminati, this blue thing that you're talking about.
Project Bluebeam?
Yeah.
That's the Illuminati is running that they're doing that.
No, I'm
and
saying
with
you were
NASA.
going to do it as a mini mystery, but you decided not to.
Oh yeah,
so you
that was the mini mystery. That was a mini.
Right there.
That was a very mini mystery. I just don't buy it.
No.
But people hate the Illuminati and the New World Order with this thought of a one world government. But I just never kind of thought that was a bad idea.
Depends on what their
But if they, I don't necessarily don't want the Antichrist heading it. But that's where all this stuff gets involved too. With that, the Antichrist is supposedly going to chip everybody, so everybody's going to carry the mark of the beast, like a chip. And then now they're talking about implanting chips in people's brains. So I don't know. But that's Project Bluebeam.
All right.
Theory number 10, top secret aircraft. Gaia.com says that one theory that has become popular among those who hear the loud booms firsthand and those who've been following the hundreds of reports made about the sounds is that the noise are caused by unidentified aircraft breaking the sound barrier over residential areas.
Totally buy that one.
But the jury is out whether these are from top secret government aircraft or spaceships. In either case, this might explain why governmental agencies are unwilling to provide a straight answer.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a
top secret
experimental craft, they're not going to tell you.
If it's an alien craft, they're not going to tell you.
Definitely not going to tell you. According to Linda Moulton Howe's site Earth Files, quote, an anonymous government employee in Colorado said, I heard what sounded like a military-powered jet engine at full power for about 5 seconds that would abruptly stop. This noise would start again every 5 seconds and then stop again 5 seconds, continuing like this for a couple minutes. Even weirder, a scientist in San Diego who heard jet noises in the sky when nothing was there said, quote, I took my high-power laser pointer and shot it up in the direction of the unexplained loud jet sound. On 2 separate occasions, I saw the beam interrupted momentarily. It seems to me that there is a real physical object moving through the air there that is simply not visible. If they're working with like camouflaging, with cloaking technology.
Yeah. I think it's actually kind of common though to hear the sound of a jet, to look up.
Oh yeah, and there's nothing there.
Watch for it, never see it, and be like, oh, must have been further, or above the clouds or whatever. So I don't know.
But I get it if they're working with cloaking technology, but I don't think they can just cloak something so it's invisible, completely invisible.
You can make things about this in previous invisible episodes. To radar.
Yeah.
I know you can do that, but invisible to the naked eye. I know they're working on that.
They're working on that with cameras that are, with screens that are projecting what is on the other side of the ship. So when you're looking at it, you're seeing
through it.
But I do buy the top secret aircraft.
Yeah, totally.
There's the old thing that whatever we think is the newest technology, we're actually 10 years more advanced
than what we think
we are.
What we're aware of
we're aware of. So I totally could buy that one.
Imagine the first people that saw the stealth bomber.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, I remember seeing like pictures of it and videos of it and being amazed. And now you look at it and it's like,
yeah.
Look at that old thing.
That's old school. That old piece of junk. So
yeah,
I mean, it's very possible that that's what this is. And maybe these things were just developed around 2010, 2011, and that's when these sounds, like the hum, started. It could be caused by these top secret aircraft.
I'm going with that one.
Okay. You still got a couple more.
You don't want to hear the remaining 10 or 9 or 11 or whatever?
Now we're getting more into natural stuff.
Okay.
We started with the
weird stuff.
So
you're getting more plausible as
I'm getting more plausible.
Okay.
Theory number 11, earthquakes. According to the government's U.S. Geological Survey website, quote, booms have been reported for a long time and they tend to occur more in the northeastern U.S. and along the East Coast. Of course, most booms that people hear or experience are actually some type of cultural noise, such as some type of an explosion, a large vehicle going by, or sometimes a sonic boom. But there have been many reports of booms that cannot be explained by man-made sources. No one knows for sure, but scientists speculate that these booms might be small, shallow earthquakes that are too small to be recorded, but large enough to be felt by people nearby. But also, according to an article on the Gaia.com website, quote, Robert Hatcher, Ph.D., University of Tennessee's Distinguished Professor of Geology, came to the fore and told WVLT News that the earthquake idea was nonsense. He said, quote, "Usually a rumble. People who have been in earthquakes describe the noise as a train that comes in. It's a rumble that comes in. That's the earthquake's way of coming through the earth. And you hear a rumble. There's not a boom or something like that." Mm-hmm. So...
Do people feel shaking? And, is it always...
People that, from what I've read, people that hear the boom and stuff don't necessarily feel shaking.
Right.
I could see if a low-grade earthquake came through enough and it was strong enough to, like, blow a transformer or something, you'd be hearing pops and booms in that situation, but I still think you would feel rumbling.
Like, I've never been in an
Shaking.
earthquake, so I don't know if you hear a
terrifying.
boom or just feel the rumbling. I don't know.
Yeah, I've never heard of booms unless, like, infrastructure is going
Yeah.
down and exploding or whatever.
Yeah. So I guess I could kind of see earthquakes, but that doesn't, I think it could be for a really small percentage of these, but I don't know, but that's what they think, is that it's a small, shallow earthquake. Don't know. Theory number 12, and this is one that comes up a lot of times, is fracking.
Right.
Fracking, which is short for hydraulic fracturing, is a process where water, chemicals, and sand are injected underground at super high pressures to crack open rock layers, releasing the oil or gas trapped inside. I thought it was a newer thing, but it was actually used as far back as 1949 by Halliburton.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I know. I didn't know.
that.
I didn't realize it was
Isn't it
that
kind
old.
of controversial, too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the mid 2000s, U.S. companies figured out how to combine fracking with horizontal drilling in order to get the oil and gas out at a reasonable price. According to an article on Vox.com called "Fracking Explained," it says, quote, "Once a well is fracked, there are thousands of gallons of wastewater left over. Companies often dispose of that chemical-laced water by pumping it into separate underground injection wells. As the water pressure builds up in those wells, it can shift rocks around. If those rocks lie near a geologic fault, it could trigger a tremor. Fracking can also cause low booms or high-pitched whines."
Oh.
So that kind
This
of
explains a lot of the
does
phenomenon.
kind of explain a lot of it. But fracking is really controversial. I didn't look too much into why it's controversial, but
Yeah.
I believe it's done up in northern Wisconsin quite a
Is
bit.
it really?
I think so.
I did work for a lady that says she could hear fracking.
Really?
Yeah.
What-
And I thought it was weird because,
Was she
she's-
the weird one,
yeah,
though?
Yeah.
I know who he's talking
Yeah.
about because she's a little strange.
Yeah. But, and
I feel confident that she's not listening.
at that time I didn't even know what it was, so I had to look into it. And
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that Wisconsin was like an oil.
I don't know if it might be for gas. I just remember years ago hearing stories from northern Wisconsin or maybe the upper peninsula of Michigan about fracking, that people were opposed to it.
Okay.
It's just another cheap way to get oil and gas out.
Well, it's that wastewater that's probably the
and if you're
controversial
pumping
part.
that into the ground.
Is that leaking into water sources?
Yep.
And
going to your aquifers. And,
Yep.
right. Are they doing that in Flint, Michigan?
I don't know. I don't know what
that
they're.
explain
I
their-
don't know what they're doing there. Theory number 13: the result of solar plasma interacting with the Earth's magnetic field. Shock waves caused by coronal mass ejections from the sun smashing into the Earth's magnetic field. Coronal mass ejections, or CMEs, often generate shock waves similar to what happens when an aircraft breaks the sound barrier in Earth's atmosphere. The solar wind's equivalent of a sonic boom can accelerate protons up to millions of miles per minute,
Jeez.
as much as 40% of the speed of light.
Wow.
These plasma bursts are hitting our magnetic field and causing the booms or trumpet-like sounds. Which,
Another plausible.
but why did that just
explanation.
start happening
Right.
2012.
in 2012,
yeah.
like around 2012? So that kind of
Yeah.
I mean, I could see the booms because the booms have been there forever, basically, like the weird booms, and I could see that. But basically, what the articles were saying is that it's the plasma bursts are like scraping against our magnetic field,
Okay.
which is disturbing. But also disturbing is number 14, which is a shift in the Earth's north magnetic pole.
Oh, yeah.
Which you keep hearing about this,
Yeah.
and I never really looked much into this. And the thing is, we are well overdue for a polar flip, for a magnetic flip. We don't know why it hasn't happened yet. When it's happening, we could end up with 8 poles instead of 2. These fields would disrupt each other, causing the magnetic field to weaken. the magnetic field around the Earth would be at 10% of the strength it is at now.
So what
which
would
is
what would
not
that
good.
mean? What would happen?
We would be hit by more radiation from
Oh.
space, cancer would skyrocket, electrical grids would go down, flights wouldn't be safe anymore, and animal migration patterns would be completely destroyed. So not good.
Wow.
Definitely not good.
I just saw on the news that the moon has more radiation than they thought it did.
Oh, I believe it.
So that's
I believe it. That's one. I'm not one of those people that don't think we landed on the moon, because I do think we landed on the moon, but it is really puzzling how we safely landed on the moon through all the radiation.
Why did we only do it once?
We did it more than once. We landed on the moon a couple times.
Did we?
I thought we did.
I don't think so. I thought it was.
I
just
think
the
we only
once.
went the one time, and that's what's kind of suspicious to a lot of people is we did it. Why
Well,
have we never
it
tried
came up
it
in our
again?
episode too that there were aliens on the moon that warned us off of it.
Oh,
That was.
that's probably why.
See, that's one that I don't know if you'd want to be here for one like that where we talk about really weird stuff. So you came for a really good one.
Yeah.
This one's actually, this isn't like Captain Coochie's Key Lime Pie or.
I think he'd like that one though, because it's like a weird internet mystery.
Yeah. But I don't know. Space stuff weirds me out.
Me too. It's just so unknown. It's such an unexplored thing for us as humans.
And then I was reading stuff about the astronauts hearing what they thought was music, and it was really like the radiation they were going through.
Oh.
So, yeah, I don't want to do that. But yeah, I mean, if the poles, some people say that it won't do anything. Some people say that it's going to basically be the end of the world if the poles. But they think that could have been what killed off the dinosaurs.
Yeah, but end of the world, how? Are we all going to spontaneously combust? Explain that to me.
No.
Is gravity going to go away and we're all going to go floating
That's a
off
weird
into space?
fear that I have is sometimes it's like, what would happen if something like that happened?
Yeah.
If all of a sudden we just stopped?
I don't know. The world stopped spinning. Bless you. Or
Bless
something
you.
like that.
It would be, yeah. I mean, why? It just amazes me sometimes we're still here. All
Right.
the things that could happen.
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay, back to the magnetic pole. If animal migration patterns will be completely destroyed. It happens every 300,000 years, and it's been over 700,000 years since the poles switched. There are some scientists who think we are actually in the beginning of one right now, but other scientists disagree. But they think that the sounds could be the start of the poles flipping.
Like the Earth is groaning.
Yeah, basically. And if it goes from two
I don't
poles
like that
if it
idea.
goes from 2 poles to 8, you're going to have all these weird magnetic, like
Yeah.
how you have
Weather
north,
patterns
when you have
would
a
be
north,
really
when you
messed
have
up.
magnets, like
Quit
I'm
doing
making
that.
I'm making a really weird
Stop
hand
doing
motion.
that.
A really weird hand motion. But I'm saying imagine I'm holding magnets and
Right.
you're like pushing
Yeah.
together and they want to pull apart. So it's going to be bad. Theory number 15, sonic booms. We've talked about this. Sonic boom is a sound associated with the shock waves created whenever an object travels through the air faster than the speed of sound. It's basically a thunder-like sound. I've heard a couple of them in my
I
life.
think I've heard at least one.
In August
when I
of
was
this
young.
year, when the SpaceX rocket went up, Central Florida heard a series of sonic booms.
So is that Elon Musk?
Yeah, I think that's Elon Musk. SpaceX is like the private corporation that's sending up rockets.
But doesn't he own it
I
or
think
something?
so. I think so. And meteors shooting through the sky can cause sonic booms.
He believes we're in a computer simulation.
He does. Well, he sees how we could be.
Yeah, Yeah, good clarification.
That's how I am too. I see how we could be, but I
he
don't
believes
know
it's
if
a
I necessarily.
possibility.
Meteors shooting through the sky can cause sonic booms, and since it takes a little time for the sound to get to us, there might be no sign of a meteor in the sky when we hear the sound.
That makes sense.
So
I mean, think of when you see an explosion in the distance and then the
Yeah,
wave comes
yes.
towards you. It's the same kind of concept.
I mean, but sonic booms are different than a trumpet sounds, like the scraping metal
Right.
or the hum.
yeah.
But the sonic booms could be the
I feel like
sky
the
quakes.
booms can be explained by a lot of
Yes.
different things,
Oh,
but
yeah.
the trumpets are a little bit more.
Yep.
It's a
Hinky.
head
That's little
scratcher.
weird. Yes. Thank you for saying that. It's got to be on our next bingo card, string
Yeah,
sessions
head
bingo.
scratcher.
Theory number 16, sand dunes. Sand dunes are capable of producing sounds under the right circumstances, and I never knew singing sand dunes were a
I
thing.
suppose with the wind whipping
Yeah.
over them.
Sand dunes can create a variety of sounds, including whispering, humming, whistling, and squeaking. Booming sounds comparable to low rumbling thunder can be heard up to a distance of 6 miles, and for as long as 15 minutes are
I
possible.
think we've all
as
heard
well.
like whistling wind,
Yeah,
right? You know?
They generally appear limited to large sand dunes in arid climates with steep faces pointing away from the wind and seem to require loosely packed, very smooth, almost spherical sand grains.
So like the Middle East is probably...
There's YouTube videos where you can hear this. And it's weird. It's weird. It's like a singing sand dune. That's the sand scraping or moving against each other.
So once again, it's like, okay, that explains the New Mexico
Exactly.
part of it.
Right.
Exactly, but doesn't explain the trumpet
Northwest
sound.
and
Yeah.
Or Wisconsin.
Yep. Theory number 17, miscellaneous natural sounds. Scientists have come up with a few other possible natural causes. Near coasts, the booms may be caused by enormous waves crashing against the cliffs. They could also be distant volcanic eruptions, far-off thunder redirected through the upper atmosphere, deep earthquakes making noise by cracking the crust, gas belching up from underground vents beneath ocean or lake beds, or new volcanoes being born.
Sky farts.
According to a January 8th, 2020 article on livescience.com, quote, mysterious seismic hums recently detected around the world were likely caused by an unusual geologic event, the rumblings of a magma-filled reservoir deep under the Indian Ocean, a new study finds. These odd hums were an unconventional geologic birth announcement. A few months after the sounds rippled around the Earth, a new underwater volcano was born off the coast of the island of Mayotte, located between Madagascar and Mozambique in the Indian Ocean.
A little baby volcano.
Little baby volcano. So it could be, like, some of the sounds could be this. It could be the waves pounding against something.
And water can make weird noises.
Yeah, or sounds can carry weirdly,
Yeah.
too, depending on what's
Think
going
of-
on.
If you're in a cave that has water, it can sound like voices.
Yep. So just a ton of possible natural sounds. Theory number 18, unintended man-made reasons. Earlier this year, residents of San Francisco started hearing strange trumpet-like sounds in the sky. People on Twitter were all talking about it in San Francisco. Then it was finally figured out that the sound was being caused by the wind hitting newly installed railing slats on the Golden Gate Bridge. You know, and you also have excavators or snowplows scraping roads that can cause like a high-pitched squealing sound like that. So they could be man-made reasons that we just hear, and that's what it is. Theory number 19, hoaxes. People started to notice that some of the new videos of the sky sounds seem to sound exactly like one of the first videos, the one from Kiev, including the exact synchronization of birds chirping. So it's not even known how many videos are legit. A lot of people took the sound of the trumpets from Kevin Smith's movie Red State and inserted them into videos. Red State, I've never seen.
I've never seen it either.
I saw the end of it
Kevin
with the
Smith?
sky trumpets.
Really?
Yeah, it's a Kevin Smith. It's like a horror movie.
Really?
About like this cult. Yeah, about the sky.
How did I not know this?
Yeah,
I actually
Corey
really like
said it.
his
Corey
stuff.
said it was really decent. Actually, Corey said it was good. But Corey, when I told him about this, that was the first thing he thought of was that there's sky trumpets in that movie. So a lot of people have been taking the sound of the trumpets from that movie Red State and inserting them into videos. Also, according to a 2012 article on Seeker.com, quote, a college student in Edmonton, Canada posted a video of mysterious sounds which got over 140,000 views on YouTube before she admitted it was fake. She told a local newspaper, quote, I made the video by taking out my iPhone and video recording my balcony view while holding my laptop right behind it while my laptop played the Conklin YouTube video in the background. It took less than a minute to do this. I made the video to show my friends and family how easy it was. It was literally less than 5 minutes of my life to make the video and upload it, and to show my family that no matter how much they believe something they see online, they should not believe it, and they should especially not get fearful. So hoaxes are a big one. You know, everybody's posting videos of sky trumpets, and you don't know which ones are legit. You know, once again, we're our own worst enemy when it comes to this crap. You know, you have trolls doing all this.
Right.
And lastly, theory number 20, there's no overall cause or blanket theory. It could be partially any or all of these, and it's always been there. I really like this quote from the article in the New Republic. Quote, after the introduction in the 1920s of the decibel as an objective unit for measuring noise, cities were able to implement noise abatement policies that cut the overall volume to mostly manageable levels. But perversely, it's precisely these noise reduction laws that allowed the hum to emerge. In a loud environment like New York City, it's far too difficult to hear the hum since it tends to blend in with the din and chaos of everything else.
Just the subway alone.
The hum, you could say, is not so much a sound, but it's rather what's left over. The noise you hear once all the other noises have been taken away.
Huh.
You know, and one
Like
thing
it's
that
always been
freaks me
there.
out, and I've talked about this on here, are I don't remember where it is, but they have that room that is completely soundproof. And they said people that go in there cannot spend more than a couple minutes in there before they literally start to go nuts. Because all you're hearing is your blood.
Oh,
you can only hear like your blood rushing through. You hear like the hum of your blood rushing through your ears.
Then you start thinking about your own anatomy.
Yeah,
and like
all you hear is like the amplified sounds that you make because it's so completely soundproof. But
I need a white noise machine at night because I cannot stand the sound of myself breathing.
Yeah.
Like I can't even imagine.
Yep.
Huh.
Like I think I talked about it on here when I was a kid. I used to have like these weird dreams where there were these creatures that were marching in formation, like Nazi marching. And I finally came to figure out that was when my head was on the pillow. That was the blood going through my ears. And that's the thing, is that people believe that this hum has always been there. And it's just we only hear it when there's no other sound. Or that they think that all of these are possibly some of...
A little bit of this.
It's a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Because, I mean... people who live in rural areas, you think they'd hear it all the time.
Exactly, but they don't, you know. So
only certain areas or certain people.
But if you're in New York where it has all these electrical things and it's quiet enough that you can only hear those electrical generators, you're going to hear a hum. Mm-hmm. So they're saying it's actually more the sound. It's what you hear when there is no other sound.
Although I suppose if you're out in the country, what you're hearing are crickets and frogs.
Yeah.
And there's sort of a low hum of just wildlife.
Yeah.
If that were to stop, look for Bigfoot because he's probably near.
Yeah. Or like Jim said earlier, another possible natural cause is tinnitus.
Right.
You know, you could.
Isn't it usually a ringing though?
Yeah, but you know.
I mean, who knows?
Or if you're really into the hum, you might imagine you're hearing the hum.
Yes.
You know, you're
people
way
are
more
highly
susceptible to hear it. So that's it. So what do you think?
I think it's a little bit of this and a little
I agree.
I 100% too. I think it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
I think
in
the trumpets are
section,
the most...
in the later section of the theories, not so much in the
Yeah.
goofier.
Right.
In like the,
Right.
I don't think it's
Starting
the four horsemen of the
sonic boom and
Yes.
going forward.
Yeah, going from there.
Yeah.
Not necessarily Project Bluebeam or aliens.
To me, the trumpet sounds are the most puzzling.
They
I don't
are.
feel like there's quite the right explanation for those, especially when you hear them. They're just
I think
really
the booms
bizarre.
and the hum can be very
Totally explainable.
explainable. The trumpet bothers me because of when it started, because that's when a lot of weird things started.
And like the hum, that's a long, prolonged, which is easily explained. But
Yeah.
the trumpet is more like a pop.
Like
yeah,
a
but
blast.
it's there for a little bit, and then
Yep.
it's gone,
And
and
then
then
it's
it
gone.
comes back, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
So the trumpet,
Or you only hear it once and you never hear it again. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think the trumpet one is a little more difficult to explain, and I really don't know.
I don't have an explanation.
If I had to pick one, I think it's something top secret that it could be an aircraft, it could be something we're working on that
Yeah.
we're just not saying what it is.
I mean, if you can truly rule out like machinery nearby or anything
Yeah.
like that, what's left over is probably just a handful of experiences. But to me, it's really bizarre.
Yeah, I don't think it's Jesus coming back.
No,
I don't necessarily
no.
think it's UFOs.
I don't know.
I think the message one is interesting,
Yeah.
but you think they would have a more stable method to transmit a message back than to have
Well, and that it would
every now and then.
it would be picked up by something that was designed to pick it up and just not heard with
Yeah.
the human ear.
Yeah. So I'm like Jim said, I'm going with a little bit of this, a little
Yeah.
bit of that for the boom and the hum. The thunder or the trumpet, I'm a not so
It's a head
sure on.
scratcher.
It's a
The
head
trumpets
scratcher,
are a
but
head
I'm not
scratcher.
in this situation. I'm not buying some of the goofier
No,
theories.
I'm not either.
You know, I'm not buying that. You know, as much as I believe we might be living in a simulation. If it would have
It
been
doesn't really explain the trumpet noise, though.
no.
Like, why would
But
it
if
make a
that's-
trumpet
If that's
noise?
what the simulation noise is, you know,
They said it was glitches.
I guess
like the fish mating one, I could totally kind of buy as part of them.
that's a humming one, though.
Yeah.
I feel like the humming noise has multiple explanations that are plausible.
I feel like the fish
and it
mating.
probably is, depending on where you live, it could be any, a variety
The fish
of
mating
reasons.
is where I started to get on board with most of the explanations. Like
Yeah.
the ones before that, as much as I do believe some of the crazier stuff, not so much in this case. I think a lot. I think it's easily explainable. I think we just don't know what the trumpet sound
Mm-hmm.
is.
I was watching, it just reminds me of like infrasound, or what is that
Yeah.
called? Like Bigfoot is supposed to give this
Yeah.
off, but lions give this
Yeah.
off. I watched an episode
But that's
of,
also kind of what very low frequencies are. That's
right.
infrasound. Yeah.
And they actually affect you physically.
Yeah.
and even in a neurological way. Like
a cat
hearing.
purring?
No. So I forgot. I think I was watching Expedition Bigfoot, and Bryce Johnson went to like a place where a habitat where wild cats are kept and studied in a very humane and pleasant way. Just saying. And the person who was hosting him brought him into this place where there was a lion, and the lion did this low pitch growling thing that they do that actually gives off a frequency that you're hearing it and it's kind of scary because this thing could kill you, but it actually is impacting you on a physical level.
That's like I talked about on the Whale Wars, when in order to keep people away from their boats, they had the sonic blasters that would disorient you. It would disorient you with the sound waves.
So things like that exist.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I can just see how a hum like that would drive me crazy.
It would drive me crazy too. I'm very sound
Me too.
sensitive.
Me too. Big time. Big time.
Like my bedroom fan has to be a certain way.
There cannot be even the slightest rattle or clink. That's why I have a white noise machine. There's nothing to rattle.
Woo,
Exactly. Second a fan does that, I'm like, it's out.
Yeah,
That's
so
all
I'm
you
kind
hear.
of the same way, so I could understand. I would be one of those people driven nuts by that. Mm-hmm. And that's why that soundproof room freaks me out so much.
Totally.
I'd like to check that out.
We'll see if we can get you
It's
in
like
one of
a
those.
sensory deprivation chamber.
Yes. Yep.
Timing.
So there we go.
why you
That
think
was
this-
Sky Sounds.
And I don't know why you think this is a bad episode.
was-
I thought it was great.
Just the roughness, getting it ready, and
Yeah, that maybe it was just the
prep was
roughness, getting it
rough.
ready and printed out and all that stuff. But maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought it was.
It's up to your usual standards, if you
Thank you.
ask me.
Oh, so you're saying my usual standard is bad? I see how it is. We have time for our listener question,
And
I
songs.
and songs. Should we do songs first?
Yeah,
or
let's do
listener question?
songs first because and we have to do a pickle joke. We should make Jim read the horrible, horrible pickle jokes.
Who wants to go first for the
We'll
song?
do Jim first.
song.
Song selection for
I
today.
had to think about it, and I came up with Fish off of a live
It's
one.
gonna be Fish.
The first song I ever heard by Fish, and it was Bounce Around the Room. It was their live album, and it's the first time. And then shortly after that, I think I was on the way to a Fish concert, so that kind of changed and progressed my early 20s.
Yeah. It's the first song I ever heard from Fish, too, is Bounce Around.
And the thing is,
Yeah.
I give Fish crap because I just do. But then,
It's
like
more of the
when you
lifestyle.
posted a song.
Yeah.
I went and listened to some of their other stuff, and I'm like, this really is actually pretty good.
It's the live experience,
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
as a whole. Is
Yeah.
just... It's hard to describe. It's an experience.
Community.
Yeah, it's a community. It's, yeah. Oh, man. That was like our coming of age was going to Fish
Going to Fish shows?
And so many amazing memories.
I kind of would have liked to have experienced that. You know,
You still could. They're still playing. They've retired a couple times and came back when they're still touring. They came to Alpine Valley this last year, I think.
So yeah, we'll post that when we
Well,
do
maybe
this.
they didn't with the whole COVID thing. They probably didn't. But they were there last year.
We'll post that song when we post this video.
Bouncing around the room.
I'll try. I'm
from a
interested
live
to check
one.
that out because I'm coming around to Fish. I'm coming around.
And that's a great album too because there's a ton of crowd participation. The crowd is singing along and
Kind of get the idea what
it might feel like to
Yeah.
be at a
Yep.
show. Should I go next?
Sure.
So my song, it's funny. Jim made a reference to, and that's what made me think of it. He made a reference to, if anybody caught it earlier, when he said Vincent Vega. That's from Pulp Fiction, and it's from one of the most iconic scenes in the movie Pulp Fiction, the Jackrabbit Slim's Twist Contest. And my song is "You Never Can Tell" by Chuck Berry. I love that song. Not just because of that scene, although
That's understandable.
it's part of it, but it's just such a great song. I think the lyrics are really clever. I love Chuck Berry. I think his style of music is so cool and really kind of forward for its
way
time.
before his time.
Yeah.
We've talked about it on here that I'm kind of hit or miss with Quentin Tarantino. Like,
Yeah.
I think some of his movies are brilliant. I think Pulp Fiction and Kill Bill
Yeah.
are two of my
Amazing
favorite
movies.
movies, but then some of his are really
He
lacking.
doesn't like Reservoir Dogs.
I think it's overrated. But
know,
one
right?
thing that he does better than anybody else is music.
Oh, his
the way he
soundtracks
ties
are amazing.
music and like we said, you can't hear "Stuck in the Middle with You" without
Nope.
thinking about cutting off a cop's ear.
Someone's ear getting cut off.
You know.
Exactly.
Dance.
Yeah.
Or Jackrabbits. Yeah,
Yes.
the
Yeah.
Michael Madsen.
Yep. So he does that magnificently.
Yeah.
The only other
his
person I
soundtracks
would
are so cool.
The only other person I would put with him is Cameron Crowe because Cameron Crowe is amazing at putting music.
Well, he
in his
did Almost
movies.
Famous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing soundtrack as well.
So another good song. My song, actually going to be a little longer with this.
Is it one I've never heard
Probably
of
not,
before?
but this
from
is going to be
band
a
I've
little
never heard
longer of a description of stuff. But I'm kind of going off Corey
Okay.
in the last episode where he wanted something powerful.
Okay.
And I've gotten some feedback that a lot of my songs have been too Dawson's Creaky. So this one is a little.
I can see that.
This one's a little
That's
heavier.
fair.
It's not heavy, but it's
Right.
a little heavier.
Okay.
And it is the song "No Halo" by the band Sorority Noise.
Yeah, never heard of them.
For one day, it just showed up in my YouTube feed as a suggested song.
Ooh,
And I
the rabbit
rarely
hole.
watch suggested songs, but I clicked on that, and after I saw the video, I was like completely like jaw on the floor. So the story behind the song "No Halo" is that a very good friend of the singer's died,
Okay.
and he could not bring himself to go to the funeral,
Oh.
which I totally get because sometimes that's hard.
Yeah. Funerals
and then,
are hard.
like a couple weeks later, he just happened to be driving past his friend's house, so he pulled up in front. And he's like, "I'm going to stop and see how he's doing." And he started getting out of the car when it hit him that he was gone.
Oh,
That
like he
he's-
forgot.
That he forgot
You need the funeral for closure.
that he's
maybe.
he's not there anymore. So the song is about that, and it's about survivor guilt. Like why was it him and not me? And it's about regretting not texting him or telling him things that you wanted to tell him, but you're like, I'm always going to have time to tell him this.
Right.
So that's what the song is about. It's a faster song. But the video is what everybody is like, wow. And the video, the only way I can describe it is that it's images of like symbolic representations, or sometimes just flat out images of anxiety, depression, suicide. A trigger warning. There is some suicidal imagery. But the video is just so amazingly powerful
Emotional
and good.
Yeah.
And like one of the very first scenes of the video is like a front shot video of a car driving down the street, and there's a young girl sitting in the passenger seat, and there's nobody driving. And that's kind of what anxiety feels like.
Right.
And that really hit
You
me
have no
because
control.
with this new job and with the stuff I've been going through lately, that is exactly how I feel. Like I'm here and nobody's driving, and I don't know what's going on.
Right. You're just a passenger.
And there's just such good imagery. There's a scene where there's a guy, and I think he's in an airport, and he's got a plastic bag over his head, and he's like breathing in and out deeply. And somebody in the comments said that's like an exact representation of what a panic attack in public is like, because nobody can know what you're going through. They're walking around you, but they don't understand what you're going through.
You feel like you're dying inside.
And there's an image where there's like schoolgirls in a bedroom, and they're drinking and laughing, and in between them you can see there's a mirror, and there's a girl sitting on the bed with her head down, kind of like not participating, with a bottle in her hand. And it's just so good. Some of the images in that video are just amazing. So I love the song, but when you pair the song with the video, it's just like really powerful. And that's why I'm going off Corey's from the last episode where he wanted something powerful. So for me, this song, this video, the story behind the song are all really powerful.
Nice.
I just read the lyrics and they gave me chills.
Yeah. Yep. Like I said, it's like the music I would describe. I played it for my friend Aaron, and I said the beginning sounds almost exactly like Kings of Leon. It's got like a Kings of Leon kind of feel.
I kind of dig them.
Yeah, but it's just such a... I'm going to post that one in the group too. So that is my song. It is No Halo by Sorority Noise.
All right.
So yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
Very
Now
nice.
time for our question.
All right.
This one I got a sneak peek at last time, and I said it's just appropriate that you two are here together for this one.
Oh,
Okay.
so I have to answer too?
Yes.
Yep.
The question is, hey, Krista and Kurt, and they spelled my name with a C, but that's okay.
At least they didn't spell mine with a CH.
That's true. I've
Kurt
seen
with a C is weird, though.
I know most of the Kurts I know are with a C.
K. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've only seen it with a K.
Hey, Krista and Kurt, and we're going to add Jim into this.
And Jim.
Hey, Krista and Kurt and Jim. Since Kurt is single, he technically doesn't need a hall pass. But for each of you, who are your top 3 celebrity hall passes?
Oh my God.
You're
I don't
killing
even...
me, Kurt.
I'll go first because you guys can think this out because I saw it, so I already. But the thing is,
I used to have some, but they change.
They changed every
so I'm
day.
guessing it's currently. I don't know, or all time.
Okay.
I don't know, but I'm
We'll
going
go
to go
currently.
first because
Okay.
then you guys can think about yours because I had all week to think about this.
Oh, man.
And the thing is, we've talked about this on here. I am not exactly known for,
Ladies' man.
for doing the deed.
Okay. You don't enjoy it.
I don't do the deed.
Yeah.
So for me, it's more of a. I'd go for lunch with them. This
Yeah,
this is my hugging bucket list or my.
Yeah.
I'll go to lunch with you. Not necessarily going to sleep with you, but this is like my. I'll go to lunch with you.
Might connect on a mental level
Yes.
with you.
And number one is I've mentioned her on here before, and I always like kind of blank on how to pronounce her last name. The actress Yvonne Stravosky. I never know how to pronounce her
she's
her
so
last
pretty.
name. But she's
in
on
The Handmaid's Tale.
She's in The Handmaid's Tale. She was on Chuck. She was like the leading lady on the show Chuck. But where I knew her from was from Dexter.
Dexter's
from the
wife,
show
yep.
Dexter. It was his girlfriend. It was his girlfriend that she shows up in like the final couple seasons, and she was like a poisoner. She was like a serial poisoner. But she was on a series, one of the series of 24, the show 24. And she was so good on there that people said she was legitimately the only person that they could see replacing Jack Bauer.
Oh,
And
interesting.
I'm just like smitten with her as a person and as an actress. And I think she is just flat out beautiful.
She is beautiful.
She is. I think she's just stunning. So she is my number one pick, Yvonne Stravosky. My number two pick, because she's been my lifelong crush, is Katie Holmes.
Oh,
I
interesting.
love Katie Holmes.
Speaking of Dawson's
I have
Creek.
since Dawson's Creek. You know, she had her little thing with Tom Cruise. She's over that.
She escaped Tom Cruise.
She escaped Tom Cruise.
Escaping Tom Cruise. That should be like a show.
And I actually have a tie for number three because I couldn't decide between the two of them. So the two I have tied for number three are Lauren Mayberry, the singer from Churches, because I absolutely adore her.
Okay.
I think she's just amazing as a person. You know, she's a very big feminist. She's just so awesome. I absolutely love her. And she's tied with Carrie Russell from Felicity.
Oh, okay.
Because
Yep.
she might be number one on my hugging bucket list because I love Carrie Russell. I've loved her ever since Felicity. Felicity, like you have Gilmore Girls. Felicity is my comfort show.
Yeah. Your feel-good show.
Yes. So those are my three. It is Yvonne Stravosky, Katie Holmes, and Lauren Mayberry / Carrie Russell.
This is really difficult.
It is really
So
difficult.
you
Not
guys-
just because you're here.
Your three celebrities.
I can
Krista,
only
you
come
go
up with
first.
like two right now. Well, Henry Cavill. Do you know who that
I
is?
knew you were going to say Henry Cavill.
Well, I've had a thing for him for a long time. He played, yeah.
Yeah, I'm aware.
The first
He's
time I saw
painfully
him
aware.
was in the show The Tudors, but he also played Superman, and I thought he played a great Superman, even though I'm not into superhero movies in any way, shape, or form. I watched that one, the first one. I think there's another one but he's just chiseled, square jaw, blue eyes, brown hair. Anyway,
I've never been described as chiseled.
no, probably not, huh? I mean, look at that face. Come on. He's in a new show
It's all
on
Photoshop.
on Netflix. He's in a new show on Netflix called The Witcher, which is based off of
is he
books.
the main?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's all greasy and
He's got long blonde hair. It's kind of weird. It doesn't really do
One of
anything
the
for me,
best video
honestly.
games I've ever played in my life.
And
Witcher
it's
3.
based off of books, right?
Yep.
The second one would be Army Hammer. Do you know who Army Hammer is?
Yeah, but I don't get it. I don't get that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Another.
Nice.
I'm sorry. He's really tall, blonde hair, blue eyes, chiseled, good looks. I don't know. I just like Army Hammer.
Maybe this wasn't a good question. This might be a real quiet drive back to my car.
I don't know. The last one is, I don't know. I can't think of I used to have one. It was Aaron Rodgers, but I'm like over that. It's not, I don't know.
I can probably think of like 3 for you.
Oh, bring it.
Brad Pitt? No, you're over that?
Yeah. I don't know. No, I mean, yeah, he's hot, but that wouldn't be a hall pass for me, I guess. A free pass, whatever you call it. I don't know.
Pass.
I don't know if I can come up
What
with a third
about,
one.
what's his name from Expedition Unknown? Josh Gates.
Yeah.
I'd love to have lunch with Josh Gates.
Okay,
and
but
just,
not a hall pass?
No, drink a beer. I'm attracted to his sense of humor 100%, but yeah, I don't know.
See, that's the thing. I don't need a hall pass because I'm single. The whole
It's
school
true.
is mine,
Yeah.
which
Whoa.
is really creepy when you think
Whoa.
about that.
We're in a
Especially
school
where
right
you
now,
work.
Kurt.
Yeah, we are in a school and you work at a school. I can't come up with a third right now. So I guess if I had to throw one out there, I don't even know his name, but there's a show called The Last Kingdom on Netflix, and like the main character is kind of beautiful. You know, he's a Nordsman or a Viking or whatever you want to call it, but yeah, he's pretty hot.
Mine are going to be, I don't know, pretty boring. I bet you most of them are going to be sports related.
Of course they are.
I just like, I don't know, it's something, I mean, mutually, my wife does not like sports too much. So it'd be something to have somebody mutually that you could talk to about it.
About sports, yeah.
Samantha Ponder.
Don't know who she is.
Not a clue.
You're probably not going to know many of these people.
Probably not.
Pull her up on your...
Okay. Yeah, I got to see what my competition looks like.
And she's blonde, too.
Ooh.
So it's out of my usual wheelhouse.
That's the thing with mine, too, is that I generally go for brunettes.
Mm-hmm.
Jim does, too.
But
Obviously.
Yvonne Stravinsky is blonde.
Oh, she's pretty.
Let me see.
Hold on. Let me bring up a... Okay, go on.
Oh, she's pretty.
She is. She's pretty.
Yeah. It's not,
Well,
I
that's a
don't,
bad
I don't know.
picture of
I
her.
don't really get into the whole movie star,
Oh, she is pretty.
all that stuff. So
Totally. Don't blame me with that.
Is Danica one of them?
no,
Oh, I thought it would be.
she's no.
She's brunette, though.
Yeah, she's brunette. Katie Nolan, I think she's funny. A lot of people don't
Katie.
like her, but I think she's cute and funny, and she's a great attitude, I think. So that's more of the...
Oh, she's cute.
I don't know any sport, unless it's WWE people. She's really cute.
Yeah.
I'm with you on your picks so far.
I like cute girls.
She's
the
from
thing, though, is that the
ESPN.
thing with the last two that I've seen, they're pretty, but they're also cute.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's an
yeah.
important thing.
I
is-
don't like
not
the all done up.
Sexy
No,
and
and
hot.
that's-
Yeah.
I like the girl next door.
Low
cute,
maintenance.
Low maintenance, yes. And then a third, I couldn't really come up with one quickly. So
Just say Krista.
yes, that's what I was gonna say, Kurt.
Really?
I said my lovely wife, Krista.
Cute. Thanks. You don't need a pass.
There are some that like I'm trying to think of ones that I like that are both cute and really pretty. Felicia Day, I think, is like that. I think she's pretty and I think she's really cute. I don't know if you know who Felicia
Yeah,
Day
I'm drawing
is.
a blank. Now I gotta look her up.
Redhead. She was on.
Oh,
She was in Dr. Horrible.
That was probably really loud. Sorry, listeners.
Like, I think she's pretty, but I think she's more cute than she is pretty.
There she is. It's like Amy Adams. She's
Yeah.
You know,
Amy Adams, I never was attracted to.
I think she's really pretty though. Oh, this is Felicia Day. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know who I don't think is super pretty, but I'm like really strongly attracted to is Emma Stone.
It's her attitude.
Oh,
Yeah, like
yeah.
sometimes she's
I
pretty
think
and
she's
sometimes she
gorgeous,
looks
actually.
like, you know.
She's got these humongous eyes
yeah,
and
I'm a sucker for humongous eyes.
My third one would be Carissa Thompson. Yeah, I forgot about her. She's another sports.
I just got bumped out.
Yeah.
You're
You
fourth.
got-
You got fourth place.
You got booted.
Ain't nothing,
I couldn't think of her
nothing wrong
name,
with
but I
fourth
got her.
place.
Another sports person.
Yep. She's a sports anchor.
Sports. Yeah, I love Emma Stone, and part of it is her. Oh, yeah, she's pretty. Part of it is her. Yeah, you like the blondes, huh?
Not all blondes.
Oh, that's right. The second one wasn't. Emma Stone. Part of it is her personality and
Yeah.
her sense of humor too,
Yeah,
though.
because she's real quirky. Mm-hmm. I think that's it.
Cool. Should we do a pickle joke?
Jim's got to do a pickle joke.
Yeah. So I got to remember what we.
It's going to be bad. Just telling
They're
you.
horrible. This page is where I'd start because I think I read the one on the other
the top
page.
one?
Yeah.
This will be nice because all of our sports listening fans will actually have something to be happy about because we never
Right.
talk about sports.
No, we never talk about
Pickle jokes. How many sides does a pickle have?
How many, Jim?
A pickle has two, an inside and an outside.
That's so dumb.
Wow.
We say that after every joke. That's so dumb. Okay, you can read the next one. They're usually so bad that we read two.
This one is actually pretty good.
Wow.
What do they call Martian gourmets?
I don't know. What do they call Martian
Purple
gourmet?
pickle eaters.
Well, he liked that one. Wow.
I did. I like that one. That was a good one.
Time for the deets.
Deets.
The deets. As always, you can email us at thestrangesessions@gmail.com. We are on Twitter at Strange Session without the S. Krista does an awesome job on Instagram at The Strange Sessions. You can send us postcards and snail mail to our P.O. Box at The Strange Sessions, P.O. Box 434, Manitowoc, Wisconsin, 54221-0434. And you can call our lonely little phone line at 920-443-9602.
Do you know how we close the show? Are you ready to join us?
I think I am. Thank you for having me.
thank you for coming on. You did that was so professional.
Thank
of
you
him.
for it. Was
You
wow.
you did a great
you didn't
job.
have to
You
prompt
really
him
did.
into anything.
Was it better than you thought it was going to be?
Yeah. It was
Awesome.
very. I
You should do another tarot
I
draw
was
and
definitely
see if it would
nervous,
good.
but you guys are very comfortable to be.
Thank you. That's what other people have
Around.
I'm
said.
glad you find your wife comfortable to be around because
In
it would
this
be a
setting.
little weird if you didn't. Okay.
In this setting.
Oh, gotcha.
He's got 3 other ahead of you. So.
He does. I
But
guess I'll
when people
walk
first
home.
come on it, they're generally a little nervous. But
Yeah,
then once
by
you get
the end, they're
going,
like,
it's
"When
kinda
can I come back?"
Yeah, exactly. You're welcome anytime. Now you know what we do when Krista leaves for a couple hours every other Saturday.
And it's fun because exactly. He'll send me a picture of him cuddling with Lucy on the couch about now.
That's
But
cute.
we were joking that we don't have any lost time on the weekend now together this weekend.
No,
'Cause
you don't, 'cause
usually
you guys were
'cause
together
we're
for
together
this.
now. So
It just works out so much nicer doing this on the weekend where
Yeah.
you're done with this by 9, 10 o'clock.
yeah, it's 9:19.
So I think that's it.
That's it.
So
That's all he wrote.
thank you again, Jim, for coming on.
My
you were
pleasure.
awesome.
Thank you.
It was really nice having you. And until next time from the Old School Media Studio,
Stay strange.
Perfect.
This has been an Old School Media production, executive produced by Kirk Konechny. For more information and content, please visit strangesessions.com.